Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Love to Live Healthy show. I'm Josephine Fitzpatrick. Today's topic is the importance of setting realistic goals during the holidays. Setting realistic goals is crucial for everyone during the holiday season, even if you're not trying to lose weight, because you don't want to gain weight either. And we know how easy that is to do even without a holiday. But with a month-long holiday season, temptations are everywhere. I talk about mindset a lot, and it's because it controls so much of what we do. Think about this. If it's May and we're going into June and we know we're going to be in less clothing, shorts, bathing suits for the next couple of months, we buckle down in May and we make it amazing. But December going into New Year's, when you know in just a couple of weeks, you will make another resolution to have a weight loss year, gives your mindset the opportunity to cave and fold into every craving and cookie. With that said, of course, I know so many of you listening right now are in the mindset of May and June because in 3 to 4 short weeks from today, many of you will be vacationing in bathing suits and shorts in the Caribbean somewhere, right? So you have your motivation, but you still have the temptations. Either way, everyone is navigating the challenges of December on all different levels. And that is why it's so important to understand that if we set achievable and specific goals, it will significantly help with our motivation and commitment. Because when our goals are attainable, we are more likely to experience a sense of accomplishment and we are more likely not to give up. Again, it's all mindset. We know the life of weight loss is a mental game, and you always have to remember you have the opportunity to win that game like everyone else. I talk all the time about how important it is that we stay focused. Well, one of the biggest reasons to set realistic goals is that it will help you maintain focus. We are so distracted during the holiday season, and any distraction can derail you. It will derail the most dedicated person. I see it and hear it all the time with clients. I don't know what happened. I was fine. And the next thing I knew, I was eating everything in sight. It happens to the best of us at one time or another. And for many, it happens a lot more. So my point is, setting realistic goals helps to prevent the feelings of disappointment and frustration, which we all know will lead to failure. Many people will set overly ambitious targets only to find themselves unable to meet them. And honestly, I'm a big fan of overly ambitious goals. Don't do it in December, any other time of year. And I'm talking about for most people, because I do have some sharks that will definitely set higher goals and they will reach them because it's how they live in their life. They approach that mentality with everything. And if that's you, then go for it. But for the average person who knows they will be super social this month, you are best to set realistic goals so you can enjoy, but also celebrate your small victories along the way. So let's talk about how do we set realistic goals and how do we stick to them? Setting a realistic goal in the month of December is going to look something like this. I'm going to be happy with my half a pound or pound a week loss, or when I maintain. Every week will be different depending on what you're doing. And listen, of course, we always want to lose weight, but if you have 2 or 3 parties in one week and you end up maintaining, well, that is success and a definite victory in my book, not to mention realistic. So look at your month and think about what you really want out of December. Maybe it's a half a pound a week. Maybe it's a pound a week. Maybe you don't have much going on and you want to be a shark and you can be a shark and you're going to go for that 2 pound a week because you know your vacation's in 4 weeks and you're going to be ready for it. Look at your month and think about what you really can accomplish because everyone is going to be different. Now let's think about how we will stick to these realistic goals because even the most realistic goal needs a plan. So, of course, the first thing I'm going to tell you, it's crucial in December to plan ahead. I always tell you, plan, prepare, follow through, because this is so important to know what you're doing if you're going to be able to follow through with what you plan. And this also involves understanding the environment of all the parties and events you will be attending. You have to be honest with yourself of what you want to come out of each one. Is it somewhere you will be drinking? Will you have less control? Is it a place you already know you love the food? Or you will be in company that you will feel uncomfortable not eating or saying no thank you to. Once you figure that out, it's going to be easier to plan for what your night will look like because you will be going in knowing, are you going to be on program or not? And once you know that, then you will be able to plan your day for your night. The idea is we want to get out of the all or nothing mindset. We know during the holidays, it is easy to develop an all or nothing mentality because as soon as you have something that you shouldn't have, you say, okay, whatever, I already went off program, so I might as well keep going. And that can happen a lot in a holiday season. But instead, if you plan ahead and you know you're going to have something off program, well, then you didn't go off, right? Because you plan to go off. So it's not really off your program. And that takes you out of the all or nothing mindset. So that brings me to portions. I tell clients this all the time. If you know you're going to a party that you're not going to be able to get anything on program, then have something that's off program, but have half the amount, smaller portions. If you're grazing, do half of grazing. If you're eating a plate full, then do half the plate full. When it comes to alcohol, the same. If you're having a couple of drinks, do water in between, or do, one shot of vodka with seltzer, mix it, do a spritzer, okay? Don't eat and go crazy. Just go into this thinking, okay, I'm going to go off program, but it's going to be controlled. Because technically, if you plan for it, you're not really off program and you won't go into that all or nothing mindset. Another thing we want to recognize, which will help us set realistic goals, is recognizing our triggers, because understanding the trigger that makes you overeat is going to be so important for anyone looking to manage their weight, especially during the holiday season when food is often irresistible or comforting. We all have different triggers that can range from emotional, environmental, social. I tell everyone, most of my clients never overeat because they're hungry. It's always to do with something else. So you have to try and recognize what your trigger is. And that's often hard because we tend to recognize our triggers when we're in the middle of overeating. But if you can go into a social event knowing what foods or people might trigger you, it might help you have a plan to avoid them or avoid a situation or avoid a topic, whatever it is. Emotional triggers are among the most common causes of overeating. Many people turn to food for comfort during times of stress, anxiety, sadness, and the holiday season can heighten these feelings due to family dynamics, financial pressures, or the end of the year reflections. Like I'm in the same place I was last year, or I'm worse than I was last year, whatever it is, these thoughts can give you an emotional trigger. I think we can all agree when it comes to overeating or indulging, it's 1,000% easier to talk yourself into doing it than to talk yourself into not doing it. It's easy to feel bad for ourselves, which is why I absolutely recommend that you incorporate gratitude into your eating habits. And my last podcast was about this because it can really help you stick to the healthiest mindset. Before you grab and bite or sit down to a meal or order a drink, take a moment to reflect on your life, where you are, how lucky you are to be healthy, to be where you are with the people around you, how important it is for you to feel good in your body, in your mind. The simple act of gratitude can shift your focus from merely eating to appreciating. And that's what you want to do. It's going to change how you react. My final thoughts on this is to always listen to your body. Are you even hungry? Are you reaching for food because it's there, because it's a party, because it's a holiday? Always think before you eat or drink. Do I really even want this? How is this going to make me feel after? Or even how will it make me feel tomorrow when I wake up? Are you grabbing it out of habit or hunger? Think about these things. Before reaching for food, just pause for a second and think, is this going to be worth it? Or more important, was it part of your plan when you walked in? If not, what changed it? Just giving yourself these moments to think helps you develop awareness of what you are doing. This makes it easier to enjoy holiday treats without guilt while still working towards your weight loss goals. I hope this helps. I am wishing everyone a happy, healthy week full of hugs and love, and of course, realistic goals.